Welcome to Tunnel Vision, brought to you by USCFootball.com. I'm Riley Sager, alongside Ryan Abraham, and not Connor, but Chris Trevino. Hello, guys.
What's up? We got Chrissy here. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. It's my first time being here. I'm really excited about it.
I think I've done one Tunnel Vision with you before, but it's been a while, so.
Have we?
I don't know. I feel like...
I personally think this is the first time I've ever done any sort of instant or tunnel vision with Riley. That's my memory. I know you've been here while I've done some, but you haven't hosted, so I think this is the first one.
That might be it then.
So we got Connor Morissette covering the USC men's basketball team. So Chris is pinch hitting, doing an hour early, 6 p.m. I don't know. We kind of bounce around 6 or 7. But yeah, Riley, we're ready. We're ready to talk some USC football.
All right. If you guys are tuning in, we are live on YouTube and Facebook. Drop your comments. If you have any questions, I'll try to go through them and star them so we can get to them by the end of the show. Live callers, 512-410. We want to hear from you.
Yes.
Today we're breaking down USC's Friday night win against Northwestern in the Coliseum, 38-17. Trojans go up 7-2, 5-1 in conference. Let's get into it, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. When you looked at the 5-1 in conference, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Like last year, what was it, 4-5 or something?
Yeah.
Can't get any wins on the road, and significant jump. And I think, Lincoln Riley, sometimes it's coach speak where you're talking about there's, all our goals are still in front of us, and it's true because USC has 3 games to win, and if they do that, they will be in the college football playoff for the very first time. And Iowa, just lost the game, and who knows what the Hawkeyes are going to be. That's a tough team, and you're going to have to play well. But it's at home, and USC's played so much better at home. Obviously, the road game at Oregon is going to be important. But Oregon doesn't look like world beaters, though. I think they'll be up for the USC game, and then UCLA had a little spurt in the middle, and now they're kind of come back down to earth. They made a run at Nebraska, but USC took Nebraska on the road, and but. The whole quarterback situation looked a little bit better than what we saw when we were in Lincoln. But, yeah, the 3 games left, which is crazy. But you win them all, and you're going to the playoff.
Yeah, it's a really interesting spot that USC has found themselves in. It's going to be a tough stretch there at the end, but it's going to be fun. I mean, they're in position, as you said, to be in the college football playoff. It's crazy to think this team is 3 points away and a bad chicken breast away from being undefeated in conference.
Yeah.
With that Illinois loss. And
bad chicken.
And it was at the point over this weekend during that crazy Indiana-Penn State game where fans were like tweeting about if Indiana goes down, is USC has a chance for the Big Ten championship. That's the position they're in. It's kind of hard to believe, but throughout this crazy season, they only have 1 loss in the Big Ten, which is a complete turnaround from how badly they were playing on the road last season. So we got to give them credit for the season they put on and the improvements that they made. They're still not a perfect team, obviously. They're still a growing team, but it's going to be fun to see what they do in these final 3 games, which are no gimmies. These are going to be tough games. Moving forward with Iowa, going to Oregon, and then obviously the rivalry game. But I think it's going to be fun to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shortened week for USC. They were away at Nebraska last weekend, and then the Friday game, which I don't know. What did you guys think? Of course, it's hard on a Friday. People are coming off of work, stuck in LA traffic. It was Parents' Weekend, so I know some parents were out at the game, but other students just wanted to spend time with their family. So it was an interesting dynamic in the crowd.
We got to meet your mom at the game. So
she was there.
Parents' Weekend, so parents were there.
I didn't get in on that meeting.
Oh, you did it? Oh, it's a whole big thing. She brought cookies. She made. No, I'm just kidding. But it was really quick at halftime. I got to see Stuart Mandel at the game. So a lot of, if you follow sports media, a lot of big sports journalists have gone to Northwestern. So I've known Stuart Mandel for a while. He wasn't working. He was just there with some fraternity brothers or whatever. And so I saw him pregame. And then I had 2 friends that went to Northwestern that work. Well, one works in Hollywood and is a pretty big time producer. But we went to the game back in 1996 all together. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's funny. So I met them at halftime. I hadn't seen them in years. So that was cool. There's some little reunion stuff. And I thought, in the beginning, it looked cool when they turned the lights out and everything, but I took a picture with my iPhone because I thought it looked cool. But then the iPhone just lightens everything up, and you could see there were so many empty seats. So the picture didn't look as cool as I thought it was going to look. And people were like, nobody's there. But then I think it filled in, and it seemed like it was a pretty good crowd there. What did it feel like?
I was going to say, I thought the crowd was pretty good considering the circumstances of it being, a Friday game, 6 p.m. kickoff, all of the traffic and stuff. I thought it was slow arriving. That's typical of a USC crowd, but I think they filled out pretty nicely. I heard multiple people on the sideline comment like, there's actually more people than I thought there's more people. I heard that continuously on the sideline, and it felt like that as well. So I got to give credit to USC fans. Obviously, this is a good team. This is a college football potential team, and the crowd showed up.
Yeah, and in the comments they're saying Mick Fleetwood. Yeah, that was cool to have Tusk. It was a pregame, I think, and Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac playing the drums on Tusk with the Trojan marching band. So that was cool, and the drone show was pretty cool looking. I don't know if you guys got to see that. They honored the Dodgers. I was walking from the House of Victory tailgate back to the Coliseum, and there was like that field in Christmas Tree Lane, and it was just empty. Well, it was full of like these drones. They were all, and I took a picture of it. I'm like, that looks kind of cool. I didn't realize like how they set that up, but it was like super organized, all the drones in a row, like on the grass there, and then they take off and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Technology, man. They didn't have that in '96.
There was no drone shows in '96, but yeah, that was cool. And then I think on the football, we should probably talk about the football game too, right?
Well, one thing. So,
go ahead. Yeah.
Are you seeing YouTube comments? Because I might have to just go into YouTube and look for them.
I'm seeing them. They're not popping up there.
Okay, no, it's not pulling up, but I'll go in and just look there. So we'll get it figured out. But yes,
yeah, I'll take a look when Chris is talking. I'll sneak around or something, and but we can talk about the game a little bit. Maybe start on the offensive side. We saw in Lincoln, USC got the win, but it was Jayden Maiava's worst outing, probably the worst quarterback outing we've seen from Lincoln Riley since he got to USC. Maybe at Oklahoma too, I'm not sure, but it was not a very strong performance from the quarterback spot. King Miller ran the ball well, and a really good bounce back. He's still Jayden Maiava's back to the number one QBR in the country. We saw Jacoby Lane have a couple sick catches. Makai Lemon, a huge game from him. King Miller goes over 100 yards in his very first Coliseum start. So there was a lot of good things on the offensive side, and but it was good to see Jayden Maiava bounce back.
Yeah, I thought this was a get-right game for the offense because obviously, they've been banged up, and Jayden's been off a little bit. The rhythm has just not quite been there. We've seen the struggles, playing on the road, South Bend, in the conditions, and Nebraska and all that. So he just seemed a little bit off. And, obviously we know that USC plays much better when they're at home. So this was their first opportunity in two games being on the road, Nebraska and South Bend, to come back to the Coliseum and kind of play in front of that home crowd. And it was a day earlier, but we definitely saw the trend or the strengths of the offense we were seeing earlier in the season. Obviously, Jayden had that pick. We'll talk about that pick, but Jayden looked much more comfortable. There were still a couple throws, a little high sometimes, but at the end of the day, Makai Lemon looked like Makai Lemon. He's been kind of smothered a couple times. These have been some good pass defenses they've played the last 2 weeks. And Northwestern is a good pass defense, but to be able to get him the ball, 161 yards, 2 scores. But Jacoby Lane had another sick catch, 7 for 7 on 7 catches on 7 targets. He looked like the confident pass catcher we've seen, with those incredible hands. He had some drops over the past 2 weeks or past 2 games. So to see him come out and have a performance like that, King Miller running the ball well, all those things going on, and with the continued add-on of Jayden running a little bit more, had another rushing touchdown in this game, made some plays with his legs. So it was just a game to kind of reset back at home. We know they play better at home, and just kind of get the offense kick-started again. Let them reset, and as I said, a get-right game. And again, I'm not saying Northwestern is a bad team that you can kind of beat up on. That's a well-coached team. That's a disciplined team. They are a bowl team. I know they're not technically a bowl team yet, but I think they're gonna get bowl eligible. So they're a good team, and they're better than we thought they would be this year. So that wasn't an easy task on a short week, but USC had the advantage, and they went out and got that offense jump started again.
Yeah, it was good. It's a really good defense. I thought there's a lot of similarities between Northwestern's defense and Nebraska's defense, and the fact that USC, ran the ball well again, like they did against Nebraska, but also really were effective in the passing game. That was a good sign. I think this is like you said, a well-coached team. So it's no small feat to be able to move the ball like they did. And I think seeing Jayden Maiava run again, where he there was a couple of games where he wasn't doing it. I think it was criminal that he didn't do it in the Notre Dame game. Like, I don't know what was going on there. Like, looking back at that as like no carries, and you had like 11 against Nebraska. And so I think that's a user error for the USC coaching staff. Like, hey, why isn't Jayden Maiava like run the ball? He can do that. And I think, especially when the Notre Dame defense was so stifling, when the quarterback runs, it can kind of loosen things up a little bit.
Absolutely.
So,
really wish he would have ran a little bit more in that game, especially with the elements going on.
At all. He didn't run at all.
Yeah, at all. Like, take off. There's opportunity to pick up 5 yards. Even 5 yards is helpful to shorten things up a little bit. But yeah, seems like we're going to see a lot more of Jayden kind of running the ball through these final 3 games and beyond.
Yeah, he only had 4 for 10 in this one, but he did have that touchdown, like you mentioned.
Really nice touchdown. Took a couple sacks, I think, so that kind of ate into his total. But yeah, that touchdown was a really nice physical run. Another one where he just kind of bowled over defender. 6'4", let him run.
Yeah. Someone in the chat was like, they loved his headbutt. That was like the turning point. So for whatever reason, the YouTube comments, I thought I had it set up okay, but the YouTube comments aren't coming up on the screen. So my apologies, but we can monitor them and get them later and stuff. So if you have questions or anything like that. But yeah, good. What did you think, Riley, about the offense there?
Well, first of all, if you're on Facebook, I can see those. So,
okay.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. Someone commenting about the Notre Dame game. So, yeah, thanks, Facebook. You got to carry through for me so I can put them up on the screen. But the offense, the past 2 games before that, like you guys said, Makai Lemon, you want to get him as involved as possible if you can. Of course, like Notre Dame, he was just being covered the whole game. Like, it's hard, and you don't want to throw it into double coverage or anything like that if you're Jayden Maiava. So it was nice going into this. You wanted to see, obviously, the run game. That's something that USC has. They have both elements. They're not just a one-dimensional team. So they had the run, but then also getting, the 2 best receivers, getting them involved. And it seems to happen when they're at the Coliseum. They seem more comfortable there. And then, of course, it helps when Maiava has a game like that after a tough one like Nebraska.
It does, and I forget what the total was, but no one's thrown for, like, USC threw for over 300 yards. A couple of those yards from the third-string quarterback, but no one had done that against Northwestern all season. So that was the most, and USC got what they wanted in the passing game. So I thought that was a big deal. I think that bodes well going into the Iowa game, because it's going to be that's definitely a tough defense, and that's a team that tries to just suck you down into the sludge and quicksand and just not let you do anything. So those are the kind of games, if you can get the passing game going, then you sort of take them out of what they want to do. Because if it's a shootout or you're just scoring a bunch of points, and I think it's easier for Iowa to do that at home than they will be on the road. It was so funny watching all the games because, Chris, before he asked, like, what'd you do on your day off? And like, watch a lot of football, grilled, and I don't know what you did, Riley, probably something similar, but man, every game was like pouring down rain, just crappy. And then like, Nebraska at the Rose Bowl. It's beautiful. It's Saturday evening. So it's kind of like, that's pretty good that USC doesn't have to go on the road, at least go into the Midwest anymore. Maybe it might be raining at Oregon, but it's just nice to get those behind. If we had lightning delays and rain and all that kind of stuff, we don't need to deal with that stuff anymore, hopefully. 2
things. First, Garrett is saying more tight end use was amazing. I think Lake McCree was 3 catches for 52 yards. And good news, the YouTube comments are up. I can see them.
Oh, perfect.
She fixed it.
Yes. I don't know what happened, but they just popped up, so I can see everything now.
I did a little. No, I didn't. I tried to fix it while Chris was talking, but that didn't really work. We could go to the defense side, but maybe we should get into some special teams. You have the.
You want to talk about Puntgate?
We can talk about Puntgate, and first of all, we got to give credit to Shotgun Spratling, who, like 3 games ago or something, I don't know when it was.
I think it was South Bend. It might have been earlier, but definitely South Bend, where he kind of came up to me and pointed it out.
So Sam Heward is a third-string quarterback, normally wears number 7, and was wearing the same number as USC's punter, number 80. And so we were in a text thread, and it's like, hey, watch out, they might do some sort of fake punt, because that seemed like what would be the reason why you would be doing that. And a few games passed, and it was just something to watch for. And didn't really expect it against Northwestern, but that, it's 7-7. It looks like Northwestern scoring at will to start the game, and USC felt like they needed to keep the drive going. It was 4th and 6, and Sam Heward takes it and rips it. And I rewatched the first half. I haven't watched the second half yet. But the announcers went crazy, or they were just talking about how great this punter was, and RG3 is analyzing his throwing motion and all this stuff. They didn't know he was a punter for at least 15 minutes of real time, and I forget who the color guy, the play-by-play guy was, but he was formerly his former partner was Brock Heward, and so he's he's going to kill me on Twitter and all this stuff for not knowing that his nephew was in the game, but. Yeah, so he completes the pass to Tanook Hines, and USC moves, and Lincoln Riley afterwards, talked about, if you guys paid attention, he's been doing that for 3 weeks. We knew, we just didn't say anything because we were waiting for it. So kudos to Shotgun for, I'm sure you guys would have seen it at some point too. But so we were sort of waiting for that to happen, and it did, which was cool. Now the Big Ten sent a letter today. I don't know if you want to, or if you have any other thoughts on that, but that sort of sets the table for the fake punt gate or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's become this kind of mini national story. Pete Thamel was tweeting about it. Other national outlets were tweeting about it, and just another weird Big Ten versus USC thing that's come up. I'll read the statement that the LA Times got with Ryan Karchi. NCAA football playing rule number 9, section 2, article 2 is labeled unfair tactics, with paragraph D stating 2 players playing the same position may not wear the same number during the game. If a foul was identified when number 80, Sam Johnson, entered the game as a punter, a team unsportsmanlike conduct penalty would have been assessed, resulting in a 15-yard from the previous spot. The Big Ten will continue to review the situation with both institutions.
Yeah. So you can't wear – so there's double numbers in college football, and Heward does have the same number as Kamari Ramsey, but switching it to 80, what the rule is, he couldn't line up as a punter. Now, he didn't punt. He lined up in a punt formation.
He's a quarterback lining up as a punter. He's not a punter lining up as a punter. Does that make sense?
So I'm not sure how that works, but even if that's the case, the penalty would have happened because Johnson hadn't punted yet. So the first time USC rolled out number 80, it was Heward, and then he completes the pass. So I think the statement kind of says that the penalty would be when USC did punt, then it would have been a 15-yard penalty or something like that. So, but I don't know, just because you're in that formation, does it mean you're playing? He never punted, so I guess he couldn't punt, but can you line up in a formation that looks like a punt? I'm not sure what the rule is, but I don't know.
I think if there's any lawyers watching, I feel like any lawyer worth their salt could get out of this.
Yes.
Could get out of this.
You're he never punted. He's not
never
the punter.
He's not a punter. He's a
quarterback. He just took a really deep snap. They were saying that on the P and stuff. But the good thing is, though, it wouldn't have impacted the fake punt because USC didn't trot out their punter at that point. Maybe they could have the punter change numbers, if they want him to punt, or just take a 15-yard penalty before you punt. I don't know. But, yeah, so it wouldn't have impacted the conversion, but apparently later. But, it was pretty smart. And I think there was another, Western Kentucky or somebody had done this before, but they switched the quarterback to 18 instead of 19. So it was
similar.
It was similar. It wasn't the same. So maybe that's the error in this one. There's so just get a punter number that's easy to sort of replicate, 88 and 89 or something like that. I don't know, something that you could do. But that was great. He threw a nice ball. And he ends up getting the garbage time at the end of the game too, wearing number 80, so he wore it again.
Just real salt in the wound.
Yeah, I was hey, by the way, remember him? He came in and you thought he was the punter. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna be interested to see if he comes out wearing number 80 in practice now, because I feel like Sam's been wearing number 7 in practice, so that's gonna be interesting to see if they're really trying to sell it now, have him at 80 the rest of the way.
Well, there'll be some I guess I could keep doing it, have him keep, and so then when USC punts, they're looking wait, is that trying to see who it is? And the other aspect of it, I think maybe it was Thamels or Bruce Feldman did a thing where he talked to Mike Pereira, and the other aspect of it is that USC doesn't have names on their jersey. So That's the traditional thing, but then you don't know like who it is. So maybe there's a little bonus to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought it was, when you do something innovative and that hasn't been done and it passes the smell test and it worked. Yeah, kudos. Like that was a big play in the game,
Pereira said it was illegal, right?
I think he was saying it wasn't legal. He said it should have been a penalty, but he thought they had already punted. When it looks like from the article that Bruce wrote, it was like Pereira thought they had already punted. They hadn't punted yet, so I think the penalty would be when you went into punt. Like you can't just assume that, So
once again, Mike Pereira is always wrong.
He's my favorite of all the.
But he's always wrong.
He gets wrong a lot too, but he's the best. I think he's the best of all the
Sure, but he's always wrong. And he was wrong again.
Yeah. So from what I think, if I read from Bruce's story right, like he said that shouldn't have counted, but it would have because the punter hadn't come out yet. And I think a lot of people on the P had pointed that out too. So make sure to check out the Peristyle. They were all over this. USCfootball.com. If you're not a subscriber, get in there and do it. You will not be disappointed by it.
Not to get too ahead in the season, but do you think USC should have saved it?
I do.
100%. Yeah. I don't think you needed it in that one. That would be a great one for Oregon or something. Now Dan Lanning, he does some crazy stuff.
He might have been all over it.
He might have known. Yeah. He's like, I was trying that like in my sleep and stuff or whatever. Who knows?
Did you see that clip of Kirby Smart when they asked him about I guess whoever they were playing, they had like 2 left-footed kickers, and he just went into like this whole thing about, yes, they have 2 left-footed kickers, and their backup is right-footed, and talking about like the implications for like fakes and rolling out. So he was just like really into everything about knowing the opposing specialist. So Dan Lanning probably has some of that similar DNA. Now he's going to be watching it, absolutely. So yeah, you kind of burned it there. So I would have saved it for a bigger moment, not the second quarter against Northwestern at home on a Friday.
Yeah.
Well, maybe more is coming.
Yeah, it could be more. Lamont said Lane Kiffin did it once. He had player switch jersey. Yeah, I can't remember the exact situation, but I remember him doing that once. We also got a shout out from Indonesia in the chat. I don't know if you saw that one, but someone said fight on from Indonesia. So
wow.
We love the international.
We're global here.
I don't know what time it is there, but thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, it's not this time. Some crazy time. That's like, whoa.
I'm gonna Google it really quick.
Where Indonesia is? Like what time?
No, like what time is it?
Yeah.
Where it is.
It's 9 in the morning.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay.
It's like 9:30.
Oh, so just
Great
waking
way
up.
to start the day.
Yeah.
Morning tunnel vision in Indonesia. We could market it that way. That'd be great.
Sure, get on that marketing.
Yeah, so cool, innovative play. We like that. I guess the other big play before we go to the defensive side was one of the turnovers that Northwestern had, but it wasn't caused by the defense. It was Jayden Maiava, and it was certainly, to me, USC's probably going to win the game anyway, but a turning point to make it 38-17. It wasn't going to be that. Like, it literally was tied at 14, and Maiava looks like he's thrown a pick 6. The defensive lineman, he didn't see, drop back in the cover. Great play. And unfortunately for him, Jayden Maiava did not give up on the play and just, dug his shoulder in and knocks the ball out. This isn't a situation where a player drops the ball at the 1-yard line. It was forced out by Jayden Maiava, goes out of the back of the end zone. One of the Northwestern players was celebrating when he thought he was scoring, and then he had to become the guy that needed to jump on the ball and bobbled it, and it goes out of bounds.
Terrible jump on the ball. Like, what are you doing? I don't know how it shot up into the air. It's just just fall on it. That's all you have to do. And somehow he just careens it into the sky. It was just so much luck for USC on that play. I mean, outstanding effort by Jayden there, but just so many things went right for USC after something badly had gone wrong for them. But they really got lucky there.
It was so chaotic. On Instant Analysis after the game on Friday, it was saying, if you're standing in the Coliseum, you see all these, purple jerseys and T-shirts in the crowd jump up, and you think Northwestern's going to score, and then they just sit down, and all the USC fans jump up. It was crazy. Definitely one of the most insane football
They probably
plays.
had like a 99% scoring potential in that.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing more, I don't know what the word is for, as far as penalization goes, like any sort of play in football, the most penalizing is the fumbling into the end zone. It goes from you're about to score a touchdown to oh, well, maybe you could kick a field goal instead. No, no, the other team gets the ball at the 20. It's as far as penalties go, that's the most agreed. That's as far
Unforgiving.
Yeah, it's so unforgiving. And hats off to Jayden Maiava, who just put his hat in there. And Lincoln Riley was like, normally you don't want your quarterback going after the big guy on the other team, but he did. And then one King Miller run later, you're like about to score, and it goes from it should have been, and with all likelihood, 99% 21-14 Northwestern, and who knows what happens. Jayden Maiava just had his head down, throwing a pick six, to he's got new life because he took the ball back and pretty much negated the interception. You get the ball like 5 yards away from you had it before, and then it's 21-14 the other way. So that was, as far as turning points go, I don't know if you get much bigger than that.
Sorry, Ryan, I don't mean to be a stickler, but you keep saying pick six. It was a thick six.
Thick six.
It would have been a thick six.
It would have been a thick six.
Let's give credit where credit is due. That was a defensive tackle.
Yeah. 300 pounds.
You got number 95, and then your quarterback just lunges at him. He felt so terrible, because it wasn't a great play. Like for a defensive lineman,
he just
like fake the rush and then back off. And Jayden Maiava said he didn't know where he came from, and you could see the replay. He backed into coverage, and it was a big deal. So, it was a big play.
That guy must have played tight end in high school or something, because he caught that so smooth. He's like, mine.
It was very good. Yeah. Now he didn't
ball handling. That's a different story.
Yeah, it wasn't like the thick six that you filmed, with Jamal Jarrett. Like that was pretty special. And he had a teammate there helping him. Like, hey, get the ball down. Tuck that in. They said it like across your chest. That's what you got to do. So, but it didn't seem like it felt like he was trying to secure the ball, but it was a great play by Maiava.
Well timed.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was holding the ball out like a loaf of bread or anything. Like it's hold out there and someone slaps it away. Like that's bad. But you got to like tuck it in both arms. I don't know if he did that, but huge play there.
Maiava just went after him, and during the press conference, I think they were asking Kamari Ramsey, they were asking him to judge his tackling skills, which was funny. But yeah, he's like, if our quarterback is doing that, what's our excuse? Like, we have to go out there. That is our job. And to watch the leader of the team do that and sacrifice his body like that meant a lot.
Yeah.
He said he didn't wrap up.
Led with the shoulder, but didn't wrap up.
No, at that point, there's no point of tackling. You're just trying to get the ball out. And that's a 1 in 1,000 kind of play. I don't know what or more. What are the odds of that? A big guy, 300-pound guy running into the end zone that you could get the ball out. You have a yard or two to work with, and you're the quarterback. I don't know. That doesn't happen all that often.
Nope.
The only quarterback in the country with a forced fumble this season. So
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I was looking for USC to get a couple picks, and they got 2 fumbles, and they were both weird ones. One at the end of the first half, and then one that was forced by the offense, not even by the defense.
Did they count that fumble at the end of the first half?
I think it did. Yeah.
Was it by Jayden?
Let me see. It was.
I have the stat sheet right here. I didn't know that was counted.
2 fumbles lost. Yeah. So
Okay.
that was
Okay.
That was right at the end of the first half. So, yeah, I was looking for a couple picks. USC did get 2 sacks in the game. We can switch over to the defensive side, I guess.
Well, that play brought them up 21-14 going into the half.
Yeah.
And then Northwestern, first 2 drives, score 14. Last 7, score 3.
Yeah. Good adjustments by Danton Lynn and the defense. Second week in a row that the opponent has only scored 3 points in the second half. Didn't look good early, but then kind of locked things down, and a lot of the guys, made plays, and I think they kind of used that pick 6 momentum and just didn't really give up. The fact that if you were to see number 95 with the ball in his hands, running towards the end zone 2 yards away, and you would say, okay, not only is this not going to score, but there's not going to be. You're going to get 3 points the rest of the way. You're like, what? There's no way that's possible. So good adjustments by the defense after giving up, those first couple of touchdowns. They did a nice job.
Yeah. Danton Lynn and this defense have, come under fire this season. There's been some not great moments, and maybe the expectations we had for them were a little too high as being a national defense, and they've had some struggles. They have some deficiencies, but I think we have to give them credit for the performances they put on the past 2 weeks with, as you said, shutting down, opposing offenses in the second half with Nebraska and Northwestern. And obviously they're not facing, Dylan Raiola left that Nebraska game, so maybe that's a different story. And Preston Stone isn't a, world beater in the Big Ten, so better quarterbacks, maybe that's a different story. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and they've did their job. They've kept points off the board these last 2 weeks and helped their offense separate. And obviously it was easier to do in this game than it was in Nebraska. But if you're keeping teams from scoring, you're doing your job. And I think they've done their job the last 2 weeks. And they're kind of building momentum. And obviously they got to do it again against Iowa, and then again at Oregon, and then UCLA, and then whatever happens after that. But I feel like they got a little bit of a momentum going on right now.
Yeah, Komalafe had 118 yards and a touchdown. He ran it well, like almost 7 yards a carry, but that's pretty much was it. Preston Stone, 150 yards passing and on 30 attempts. So they just wasn't super effective. They weren't able to pick any balls off, and every game Northwestern had lost this year, he'd thrown at least 2 interceptions. But I think the way the game went, they were trying to do some quick stuff similar, I think, to what Nebraska was doing. And they did get a couple sacks later in the game once USC got the lead and sort of forced them into more drop-back situations. Christian Pierce had a ball, looks like it was low, but went through his arms. He could have
should have been a pick.
Should have been a pick. And there was a couple other balls that they got hands on, but they were effective enough. Let me see how many. I think they had a few 3-and-outs. They had total drives. Yeah, 3 3-and-outs. So that's pretty good. But it was TD, and then punt, fumble, punt, field goal, downs, and punt. So much better after, like Riley said, after those first 2 drives.
No, yeah, I mean, again, they were pretty good, and we have to remember, this is a Friday game. This is a short week. They've had less time to prepare for this game. Northwestern had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, so don't forget about that added context. This was a game where you just got to get in, get the win, and get out of there. Get your extra day of rest coming off a long Nebraska week. And USC did that, and the USC defense did that. Again, I was a little worried about them coming in against this Northwestern offense. I thought they were going to run the ball well. 2 weeks to prepare for this defense. They were going to have some tricks up their sleeve. But at the end of the day, defense did their job. They slowed them down. You don't want to give up 2 opening touchdown drives, but you'd rather have a defense that finishes strong and gets better as the game goes on than one that, collapses at the end. And they've done that the last 2 weeks, meaning they've finished strong. So at the end of the day, I think they did their job, and I think we need to give them credit.
Yeah, for sure.
Any live callers?
Yeah, we got a couple calls in the queue.
All
Should we
right.
start doing that and doing some questions and stuff? Anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we?
Brighton Diaz was just asking, quarter 1 defense was so frustrating to watch. What did Lynn change in the second half to shut down Northwestern offense?
I still haven't watched the second half of the tape, so I need to do that. But we asked Jayden about that, and he said it was them just speaking about it like a mentality-wise, like we had to be more physical. We just have to stop getting pushed back. It's simple, but like it's not like they did a bunch of scheme changes. I just think they just responded mentally. I watched the first quarter and they were getting pushed back, and they just needed like some sort of spark. And I think that was Bishop Fitzgerald. He got that pass breakup on that 3rd drive. And then you got them off their schedule, got them off their rhythm, and then you get a short run on there, and then it's 3rd and long, and then you're able to make a play on a ball to force a punt. So they just needed some like momentum or some sort of spark, and Bishop Fitzgerald gave them that, and they were able to ride that through. So I think that they just need a little bit of confidence, and then once that started going their way, they started picking up, and they were able to get in the backfield, get some pressure. Make some tackles. They were just out of spots at some time. So I think they were just playing better mentally moving forward. And that's kind of what Jayden kind of implied.
Yeah. And sometimes it's tough. The first couple drives you can get scripted, and then you got to figure it out afterwards. But it seems like USC figured some things out, and once you're off the script, it didn't work quite as well.
Yeah. All right.
They weren't on schedule. Let's go to the first caller. Looks like Nick in Dallas. You're on Tunnel Vision.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, you guys. Yeah, but first off, foremost, before I get you guys on football, I just want to give a shout out to Lindsey Gottlieb and the women of Troy for getting a win against NC State. Great win for Jazzy Davidson and USC women's basketball. And you think USC women's going to be dangerous now? Wait till Juju comes back next year, and then with Snell coming in. Watch out, UConn. That's all I got to say about that. But moving on forward, I thought it was a great win for the Troy going against Northwestern. I remember I called last week. I thought Northwestern, clearly they were the better team. I thought than what the record would indicate. Great play by Maiava when he threw that pick. I think it was off a screen pass. Here's a play, and I thought the SC played well. They took care of the business, winning. I think it was 30-17. And Ryan, I watched the game between Oregon and Iowa. I think USC can beat both those teams either way. What kind of scares me though about both those games is I just hope that USC doesn't get carried away, when they play Iowa. And I'm pretty sure Lincoln was watching that game. I think we'll be okay. Obviously, I think we're going to win out. But I just hope we stick to our game plan. And I don't know if you know, when will Wayman Jordan come back? Because I know Sanders will be up to the seasonal. But, that being said, I think Miller is doing the same. He's, staying with the offense, and he's pretty much doing the same with the offense and getting big rushing yards in. But also, let's keep in mind that the offensive line is healthy, and they're pretty much opening holes for Miller. So we'll be okay. I feel like this FC offense, and pretty much the team for the most part, is coming along. And I don't want to guarantee we'll get to the playoffs, but if we went out and show the committee that we're doing our thing, I think we'll be okay, and we have something to prove. And I think Lincoln has his team peaking at the right time. So let's take one game at a time. Let's get ready for Iowa. Get this game going against Iowa, and then get ready for that, which I think will be a playoff game when we play Oregon up in Eugene. And let's fight on, and let's get this stuff used up, move forward, and let's fight on, and let's get these games winning to the end of the season. And thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. There's a lot there. The Wayman
question
Jordan
was about Wayman, and
there was a question in the middle there somewhere. Yeah.
It's tough because obviously you watch Wayman Jordan, really special running back, cuts, suddenness, quickness, able to make people miss. And the injury he had is an ankle injury at the tightrope surgery, and you don't want to rush a running back, especially one that's coming off an ankle injury like that. You still maybe haven't fully trusted it. And I know everyone's like looking at it like, oh, we want him back for Oregon. We need him back for Oregon. That's just so tough to ask for a player, a running back, returning after a surgery like that to go out there and just say, hey, okay, do what you were doing, before you got hurt, and this is your first time doing it. And I know there's practice and everything, but it's just different. So it's really tough. I don't think they're going to want to put him in that position as much as, USC fans want him back. And I know he really wants to get back, but I think it'd be best for the player not to kind of throw him into a tough situation like that against, a tough defense and physical game. And just, I don't know. I think that just would be putting too much expectations on him, especially given the injury and really no time to actually kind of test it out.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll see, what he'll get back when he can come back, but Oregon seems like to be the earliest. And I did watch the Iowa-Oregon game, which it was really important because that's USC's next two opponents. And the last two times you've seen Oregon, they've been playing in torrential downpour. Like they kind of messed around with Wisconsin at home and only beat them 21-7. But it was really hard to throw the ball. It was pouring down rain. Similar crappy conditions in Iowa, and they had to get that comeback win. But Dante Moore had an amazing throw to set up the field goal at the end of the game. As far as on the Iowa side, like their quarterbacks run for like 12 touchdowns or something crazy. Yeah. Like he's, and Iowa, similar to USC last year, so they've lost 3 games. Iowa's been tied or in the lead under 2 minutes in all 3 of those. So that's crazy.
All 3 of those are ranked teams.
Yeah. These are going to be 2 tough games for sure. I think the Iowa one's going to be close just because Iowa's close with everybody, unless they blow them out, which they've done that a couple times. So, but both are certainly winnable games, and it's good you get Iowa at home, Oregon on the road. Oregon's been winning, but they've, it's not like they look like a juggernaut like Ohio State has at times. And Indiana sort of came back down to earth, and they had a really tough game against Penn State. So Oh, not against Penn State. They played.
Penn State.
They played Penn State. Oh wait, who did Wisconsin beat? Oh, Washington. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Wisconsin, who looked like the worst team in the league, and Oregon only beat them 21-7, like in the downpour. But they end up beating Washington, and
I missed that result.
yeah,
They beat them?
That was So you had these comebacks where it looked like Penn State was going to upset Indiana, crazy one-toe catch or whatever, and Indiana ends up winning. Same thing. It looked like Iowa was going to beat Oregon. They had done nothing like on offense, and they get a touchdown drive, and Oregon has to come down in like shitty weather and but whatever, and then get the field goal. And
Fine
then
him.
you felt like Washington was going to do the same thing, but they just didn't. And Wisconsin went crazy and got the win. So that was a big. There was 3 potential huge upsets, and there ended up being just one.
Are you still a Heisman voter?
I'm still a Heisman voter. Yeah.
Does Mendoza have your vote?
Right now he does. Yeah, he's probably in the lead. Looking at what he's able to do. So, but yeah, it's he's been really impressive. And in the beginning of the season, I was kind of like, I don't know. They played around with Old Dominion, but the way he's been able to play, and even when things weren't going exactly right, he just showed a lot of poise. So, and USC doesn't have to play Indiana, so that's but Indiana went into Oregon and won. I don't think USC is as good as Indiana right now, but it's not like it's an impossible task. But I think the Ducks are going to be up for that game.
Very hostile environment.
We got another call.
All right.
This looks like, I'm not sure who this is. Oh, it's Nick in New Jersey?
Mitch.
Rich. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good
Yes.
show, guys. How you guys doing? Love the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we play hard. You play hard to make your own luck. It's kind of like the Dodgers. We beat that throw by a hair, and then that play by Paz just knocked down kicking. That's what I want to see with our defensive linemen. We got to get some more sacks the rest of the season. Keep it to win these games because it's like you said, it's gonna be tough. They have good defenses, and Moore is a good quarterback. But I wanted to say also that play with that great tackle by he must be getting his teammates. His teammates must be riding pretty good. Maybe merciless, but it was a great play by Maiava. Some play. But I think that rule that came from the Dave Casper Graders, with the fake kicking the ball fumble through the end. So that is a strange rule. It's like if you fumble it, if you don't fumble it, if you fumble it out of the end zone, it's all around the other team. But if you fumble it, if he was to fumble the ball at the 3-yard line, then it'd be his ball, right?
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like as far as like you're like this close to one or the other, and the results couldn't be. They're so different. It's so vastly different.
For the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want some more. I like our defensive line. We got a lot of potential. Young line, and I don't want to see that running back coming back too soon. I don't want to see we don't need him, but I think we're doing pretty good with them still, and Jackson backing them up. So Waylon, Jordan, you take your time. We'll see you next year. This league is flying. It's unbelievable. I only have 3 games left, and I'm expecting at least to have more a good ball.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It does fly by.
Right.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate the call.
I agree with him. The season has gone by really fast
It
for
has.
whatever reason.
It takes a long time to get here, and then when it gets here, it's like lightning. Those trips are like they definitely take something out of you, like getting on the planes, and especially you've had some hiccups.
I've had some doozies, but we're staying west side for Oregon, so should be straightforward. Just going up, not going across, just going up.
Yeah, no time zone stuff. I did like your. If you guys haven't listened to Chris's road trip podcast, that's good.
He's only saying that because he's on it a lot.
I was on this last
Yeah.
one. I wasn't on the other ones. I did open a segment, I guess.
You were on the Illinois one briefly.
Okay.
But you were officially on this one for the first time. You even opened a segment,
Yes.
which has never happened.
He
It's
just
always
had
my voice first, but this time it was your voice first.
But it was good. That was a long one too.
Yeah, it took longer. I just kept getting stuff. Just had
Yeah.
to go in. So yeah, check that out. Road trip.
Yeah, but if you want to
Lincoln.
feel what it's like to be on a road trip, like Chris kind of brings you into it, and yeah, it was fun. Interviewing opposing fans, Nebraska fans were super nice. That was great. Northwestern fans were nice too, but They were just here visiting. Got the purple in the Coliseum. Yeah, it was really nice though to be in the Coliseum and watch, nice night. It was really nice out and everything. And then all the football I watched the next day was just like terrible weather. Like, why are you yes, this seems like a horrible sport. Why would you do this? Like pouring down rain, all this stuff. And it's like, and then you see the UCLA game at night, and like, it's the same stuff. Like that's good,
Nebraska won that one?
Nebraska won. They were up 28-7, I think, and then they won 28-21. But with Latif, if you remember against USC when he came in, he was 5 of 7 for 7 yards. By the time he had 7 passes against UCLA, he was 7 of 7 for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns or something. But he finished. He finished. He only missed like 2 passes or something. He had a crazy stat line, and so. But yeah, you got thrown into the fire, and I get it. But 1 week to prepare, and they seem to do a really good job. But yeah, UCLA struggling a little bit. We'll see. I think they're going to Ohio State next. So that's not where you want to.
That's where you get back on track at Ohio State. Let's go.
That's because Penn State's not I have them. We do our podcast of champions, and I have them ranked 18th on our power rankings just because they haven't won a Big Ten game yet. But they they still got really good players, and they looked good. They could have easily won against Indiana, but it's you're trying to get, Penn State had a close loss, whatever, and then you're trying to get back on track, and you're like, oh, we got to play Indiana. They had Ohio State and Indiana back to back. That's not going to go over well. But they played well. They played good enough to beat Indiana. Just the whole big game thing. I know you got rid of your coach and everything, but James Franklin's gone, but they still couldn't win the big one, even though they had that one. It looked like they had it in the bag.
Almost made me feel bad for Penn State.
Yeah,
almost.
Not quite.
Not quite. Almost.
Cool. Do we have questions in the chat and stuff?
Yes. Back to the running back conversation.
Oh, okay.
Michael Grimm wants to know, if all the running backs were healthy, would King Miller be the number 1?
If all the running backs were healthy.
Knowing what we know now.
Knowing what we know now, I all of them healthy, I think still Wayman is your number 1.
I think so.
But King is eating a lot into Eli Sanders.
Yeah.
I think.
He, even watching him and Brian Jackson come in, I like Brian Jackson, and maybe he's still banged up a little bit, but just the way that Miller hits the hole, and the vision's really good. It's like he's slithering through a crevice or whatever, before getting hit. And so you've already got 3 yards. It's 3 yards in your pocket. And now what can you do? Can you make somebody miss? Can you bowl somebody over? And that's 8 yards now. Or, but it seems like with Brian Jackson, it's you might not get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's 0 or 1 yards. And that doesn't happen to Miller hardly at all.
He's the best blend of all of them. He's deceptive enough to make people miss. He'll hit the hole really fast. And he'll thump. He's had some plays where he's run over a couple dudes, and he just doesn't look like a big running back. He's unassuming, but he's nasty. I don't really understand it, but yeah, I think Wayman would still be the number 1, but it would be a much closer 1A 1B situation than we had with Eli and Waymo.
Yeah.
Waymo's really special, but King Miller's also showing he's kind of looking like a pro.
I mean, he's 100-yard games in 3 of the last 4. Your walk-on running back after your top 2 guys get hurt, it's still you're just looking at King Miller okay, he's the number 1 guy, the starter or whatever, and you're wait a second, if you had to come into a game at some other point, just in the middle of last year, and you're all the running backs are hurt, now you got to walk on starting.
It's
you'd be they're dead.
5'7", 100.
Yeah,
guys look like me.
Yeah, we've seen when we used to be able to watch practice, RIP the old days. But when then you people would come, especially someone that would come and maybe don't watch all that much, and they'd be oh, who's that number 44? He looks good. You're it doesn't matter. He's a walk on. He's just making a play in practice. And I'm wondering what King Miller looked like in practice if we were oh, that walk on looks like he's pretty legit, But what he's doing is I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. The walk on dude comes in and 100-yard games, what his first start ever was at Notre Dame. Come on, this is crazy.
He's he's got a shot at 1,000 yards this season, which is a crazy for a walk-on. Like a walk-on running back is going to could have 1,000 yards. Now again, Iowa's tough defense, Oregon's a tough defense, so it's going to be hard. But he has a legit shot. He's got over 600 yards, so he's got a shot for 1,000 yards. It'd just be crazy. Yeah,
with the bowl game. But Nebraska's a tough defense, over 100 yards. Northwestern's a tough defense, over 100 yards. Like, it's not like he's doing it against chopped liver. He's running the ball well. He ran the ball well, like probably the best part of their offense against Notre Dame, right? Like that was
crushed Michigan.
Just crushed Michigan. Like
Michigan
spin moves and stuff on Michigan. Like what? Like that's insane. Like he's just. I mean, it's such an amazing story. I don't even know if we can appreciate it right now. Like later after the season, you're like, wait a second. The guy came in and was like fourth string, and he's a walk on and just started carrying the team. Like that's wild.
And his brother is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twin brother.
He didn't play.
He came in for that one play, but starting against Nebraska came in against Nebraska and played lights out too. They're both
Didn't he start the Nebraska game?
No, he came in for Alani.
Oh, he came in. Okay, yeah. We thought he could start this one.
Yes.
Okay.
But Alani ended up
being
cleared from protocol, so they went back to 77.
Yeah.
Speaking of the offensive line.
Oh, yes.
Jeff wants to know, is Reed now our first team center? Because he started and then Killian O'Connor came in after he went out.
Yeah, this is interesting, and this is something we're gonna have to like kind of look at because it kind of feels like that way. It kind of feels that way that he's kind of the number one guy now, and I don't know, maybe they want to give Killian an extra week. It's a Friday game. You don't want to bring him back a day early. Let's get the rest. He was obviously not. He was available for Nebraska, Killian, but he wasn't warming up as the second team center. That was Kalen. Now, he was an emergency option. Like, if everything went terrible, they would go with O'Connor against Nebraska. On Friday, he was warming up as the backup center. So that tells me, he's cleared, he's back. He is available. He can play. And as you said, Reed went down, and then they went to Killian. So, snaps were a little high at times. I don't know if anyone saw that.
A little bit.
There's multiple high snaps. That's got to be worked out. But right now, they're kind of flowing with Reed. He's kind of being in a groove. So it kind of seems like Reed is the OC1. That's something we'll have to ask about this week. But it's a good problem to have,
Yeah, they've had to mix and match a lot. And there hasn't been – we've seen situations in the past where one guy gets hurt and the whole offensive line collapse. And they've had so many changes, and you thought Reed was going to be the number one guy, and O'Connor wins the job, and then Reed comes in, and there was some little sketchy at first, but then seemed to settle in. Losing Elijah Page, you felt like that could be devastating, and they just whatever bumps in the road have been on the offensive line. There have been several, lots of bumps, and they got that independent suspension, man. They're just cruising across. It just seems like they're doing well no matter who comes in there. And if you have two healthy centers and now you like the backup better than the starter, the original starter, who you thought was going to be the starter, yeah, it's good because then you can have either guy. And it seems like it's working well, but it's worked.
And no disrespect to Killian, but Jaron Reed's bigger. Jaron Reed's more physical. Jaron Reed is more athletic, more experience, but Killian knew the offense, and as long as Jaron Reed is understanding the offense and making the right calls, he's going to start, I feel like. So, again, that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see through this week, and then moving forward, if Killian is actually now the official backup and Reed is the official starter. If we ask Lincoln, he's it's going to be a competition all the way up to game day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so but Reed's done a nice job. Just got to get those snaps a little down, a little more down, because that could be a disaster at some point.
All right. Cam Life, what do you guys think about Danton Lynn adjustment of the 4-2-1-4? The one being Eric Gentry playing 2 yards behind Walker and Stevens, almost like a third-level linebacker. Weird formation on defense, ?
I haven't dug into that yet. I'm shotgun probably will more.
Yeah, that's like a shotgun nerd thing. But this is what they like about Eric Gentry is that you can do stuff like that with him. You can move him to play nickel, or you could do weird stuff with him. That's why he's like the ultimate chess piece. You could do whatever with him. You could rush him, drop him, coverage, whatever. So this is just another example of Danton Lynn and his little creative mastermind little brain doing something with a 6'7" guy and making it work. And obviously, I wish Gentry hasn't like had a tackle for a loss in a while, but they're winning. They're doing well. So I still would like to see him a little more impactful rushing the quarterback because he's so good at that. But whatever they need, Eric Gentry's going to do, and he's showing a lot in his ability to, cover and make tackles and all those kind of things. But he's still an emotional leader for this team, and they're going to do whatever they can to move him all around this and make life difficult for quarterbacks and offenses.
He did get credited with a QB hurry. He had 4 tackles, 1 solo in this one. But yeah, no one had more than 6 tackles in this game, so it was sort of kind of spread out between all the defenders. But I felt it was like a better overall effort, especially after those first couple of drives.
Gentry won't be here next year, but what about Stevens from the past couple games? Looking into next season.
He's definitely turned it around. He's definitely, I hate to use the cliche, but the light bulb seems to have bing, gone off, or at least it's flickering.
I need a sound effect.
As long as it's, you got the board over there, not us.
I'll work on it.
It's flickering. Obviously the Nebraska game was his best game, and he's just continuing to build momentum, getting some impactful plays. So they're going to need him down the stretch. They're going to need him to play with utmost confidence against Iowa, a heavy, heavy rushing team. Oregon, which is going to throw the ball as well as run the ball. So they're going to need him to take another step forward in these final 3 stretches of games. But we're seeing the talent that we thought we would see when we, were glazing him this offseason about, being the future. And he still can be that future. But we're starting to see that development, which is good.
And I think the linebackers are going to have to step up in the Iowa game because Gronowski, I think that's his name, he's going to run the ball a lot, know, and so you need to be able to – he can't just keep picking up first downs. And, I feel like that's the thing where you can put more pressure on Iowa's offense, especially if USC's scoring. The linebackers are going to need to play well and kind of contain him if they're going to spy him or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do. But, Iowa's not a team that wants to drop back and throw the ball all over the field. Like, they're going to try to run and try to, misdirection and, they're going to do a lot of stuff like that. And I think the linebackers need to be on point playing a team like that. So I think there was going to be a bunch of pressure on Stevens this next game. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays.
Not to ask you too ahead of time, but maybe not a key to the game, but what do you want to see from the linebackers against Iowa? Any stat?
I mean, it'd be great if Gentry got a tackle for a loss.
He was so good at that at the beginning of the season. Really haven't seen that since Illinois. That he hasn't. But prior to that, that's when his last tackle for a loss was. So
yeah,
being able to make plays behind the line of scrimmage for these guys, not just him, but any of those linebackers.
And I want to see those guys tackling leaders, especially a team like Iowa. You don't want Kamari Ramsey leading the team at something like that. That you don't want your third layer guys. You want guys closer to the line of scrimmage. And I don't know if there's a specific stat, but really just being able to limit, quarterback runs. I think that's, you can't run yourself out of the play. You can't just run into a blocker and, be in the wrong gap and all that stuff and allow a wide open middle of the field where the quarterback just takes off and runs. So I think that's going to be the most important part for me.
All right.
I would agree with that.
Low, question, is the lack of sacks really a necessary part of the defense, or are opposing QB OCs going with more quick game passing to offset the pass rush? Is it an actual concern or overblown?
I mean, I think there's certain situations like the Nebraska gives up a lot of sacks, but you saw the game plan. It was if they were throwing passes that were long, they were back shoulder fades just to the sideline. And
what happened with the one time they did drop back for a traditional?
They just weren't dropping back a lot. So then it's okay, so you have to focus on other things. And they got a couple against Northwestern. I think it's sort of styles make fights, and it just depends on, you can run your offense to not get sacked, but you're probably limiting what you can do. So I think in that case, they weren't getting after, Dylan Raiola as much because he was getting the ball out quickly, but you also let Emmett Johnson run for 165 yards. Now, last night against UCLA, he had 100 yards receiving and 100 yards rushing. That's the first time a Nebraska back has done that. So at least they didn't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But if an offense is going to limit their dropbacks to help slow down a pass rush, then you have to like kind of step up in other ways.
Yeah, teams are definitely like trying to get the ball out quicker and stuff. But for me, it comes down to when the moment happens, when you have a 3rd and 7 or you have a 3rd and 9, that's when you have to start making those plays. You can't show up empty-handed. You can't get they can't have all day to throw that. So when you do get those opportunities, even though they are fewer because they are dropping back quicker or they're a more run-focused team, when stuff like that happens, you have to take advantage of that. And they're still not fully doing that. They're doing it sometimes, but that's still an area they need to grow. Coming up big when the moment demands it. They didn't get it done in Illinois, obviously, and if they had, they probably would be undefeated in Big Ten play. So just seeing more consistently, and I think we saw some of that, obviously, when Dylan dropped back, they were able to get to him. When Preston Stone dropped back in the red zone, they got to him. Yeah. So it's been hit or miss, but being able to step up in the moment when it has to be a sack or it has to be pressure or you have to affect the play with your edge rushers. And they've done it sometimes, but not enough for my liking, but they're still getting there. They're still talented, but they're still kind of growing too.
Question from Big E. Iowa is going to try to limit possessions, bleed clock, and win ugly. Will we see SC running the ball less and throwing more as a result?
I mean, I think the last 2 games USC played, that's been the game plan. So it's not like anything new. I think USC can stay balanced. I think the important thing is, especially at home, you don't want to play that style. You want to be able to dictate play. It's harder to do that. Like, it was harder for Oregon to do that. Oregon tried to play Iowa football, and they out-Iowa'd Iowa. I don't know if USC was going to be great at that. But you're in the Coliseum. It's going to be a nice day or whatever. It's 12:30 kick. This is like, okay, if you can get the passing game going, crazy catches by Makai Lemon or Jacoby Lane, like, it's going to take a while for Iowa to get out of what they want to do. But if they're down 14 in the third quarter, like, now it's like, okay, now they can't execute. If they're up 5 points, then they can keep running and punting and playing field position. So I think it's important for the offense to kind of get an advantage and put some pressure on there. But I don't think it's going to change much where they're just going to get all pass happy. They just have to be balanced like they've been, and they'll be fine. But I think it's important to put pressure on teams like that. When you play from behind, that's they're not good at playing from behind. So put them behind, and
put them behind. Well said. And this is going to be a really tough defensive challenge. I know you got it at home, but this might be the best pass defense USC has faced this season. They've only allowed 4 passing touchdowns, which is tied for first in the nation.
Crazy.
With Ohio State. So they're really tough, and it took Dante Moore throwing an insane pass there to set up that game-winning field goal. So it's going to be tough. The windows are going to be really tight. This pass defense for Iowa, 10 picks on the season. They love to get interceptions, among the top in the Big Ten. So this is going to be a challenge. But, yeah, I expect USC to continue to be balanced, and they're going to try to throw the ball. But you just hope it works out, and they were able to get a lead and kind of dictate how Iowa has to play. Because they're going to want to muck it up, as Gerard said, and as the comment stated as well.
Jeff said in the chat, calling Iowa easy is a great way to get disappointed. For instance, teams are always ready. Yeah, I don't think any of us did. Maybe someone in the chat did. But
I think I did see people thinking like Iowa would be easier, but I was like, guys, Iowa's tough. They're well coached. It's gonna be a freaking knife fight.
Yeah, like we said, 3 losses, all against ranked teams, and they were winning or tied within 2 minutes of the game in all of those. So everyone, like, they want you to be in a rock fight, and they're really good at rock fights. And Oregon out rock fighted them. Like, there was, in the rain and all that stuff. Someone said there might be rain on Saturday. That would be
I checked.
I saw Thursday.
I saw Thursday. I think it moved a little bit. Someone posted like 3 weeks out. It's like supposed to be raining on Saturday. It looks like it's moved a little bit, but I did see that. I didn't. Latest, I didn't see there was no rain, but as like Riley said, I saw Thursday some rain.
Yeah, but no, I don't think anyone here thinks that that's going to be. It's a super tough game, but it's certainly a winnable game. Iowa's really good at limiting your passing offense. USC has arguably the best passing offense in the country. So you get them at home. You want to be able to have the best unit on the field, your passing offense, succeed. And if you're able to do that, then I think USC can win the game. If it's Iowa's like just stifling the passing offense and it looks like what it looked like in Lincoln, then it's going to be tough because then USC is going to have to be engaged in rock fight mode. And can you win a game like that? They sort of did that in Lincoln. This is a different beast. I think Iowa's better, obviously, and but you'd rather not be in a rock fight. You'd rather pull out some grenade launchers and stuff if you can.
Drink every time Ryan says rock fight.
Rock fight.
A couple of people asking about Hassan Longstreet, why he didn't get any snaps. So preserving the red shirt, but is there any case you would see him come in aside from, God forbid, an injury?
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like they're trying to preserve the red shirt. They don't want him to burn the red shirt, but also were they just putting Sam in because
he already
came in, had the play, let him finish it out. I don't know if it was a situation like that. But I do think they want to preserve the red shirt unless it's like some trick play. They don't want to burn it, but they've been kind of weird with his snaps. Like brought him in for like just one snap one time, and I don't. That was the Notre Dame game. They just put him in for that.
Yeah,
one.
that was a weird.
That was weird and didn't work. So you burned a game there. So at this point, I think they want to redshirt him. So barring injury, I don't think we would see him anymore.
All right, Mike. What is the word on running back Miller's health? He went out with the shoulder injury, but I think he's fine, right?
I think he's fine.
Yeah.
But this was kind of a game where it's like, by the end, you're like, let's just go home. Reed went down. Marcellus Williams got banged up. Makai Lemon had something after that missed throw. He kind of like reached his arm back to like stretch his back, and he was kind of getting like on the sideline. And then obviously King kind of got up slow there and kind of had to come out. So it was just kind of like, let's just get out of here. We got the win. Let's just
extra
go
day
home.
of rest.
Yeah.
9 games in, like you're going to be banged up a little bit, but he should be okay.
He should be okay. I haven't heard anything, but yeah, I think it was just like, just get me out. Let's go. We're done.
Seems about it. I remember there was a question about Prince Strong and how haven't really seen anything from him.
Prince Strong is the biggest enigma on the team right now. Like I do not know. He comes out super jazzed up for practice. I see him on the sideline during games, like getting loose, doing routes, but he just doesn't go in. It's been like 9 weeks since the ankle injury from the second or first game. I think it was the first game.
I think it was, yeah.
So at this point, it just seems like he's redshirting. So to save, and he'll be back next year. But it's just really weird that he hasn't been. And Zacharias Williams didn't dress last week. So their 2 transfer receivers have just been like
non-existent.
MIA. It's just a really weird situation.
We got a super chat.
Oh, nice.
$4.99 from Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie.
From Orange?
Yep.
Yes, we ride for 18K. Pod for life. Jobs.
Yeah, that's a composite 2-star pod for life.
That's the Manscott. Shout out to the Manscott. I heard there's a voicemail, Eddie. I look forward to it. I heard there's a lot of running.
Eddie, I put your voicemail in the thing. If he doesn't play it, don't blame me. That's on Chris. It's
on him.
It's
all
there.
on Ryan.
It's only like a minute, I think, so it's not like one of his ranty ones.
I heard he's starting to branch out into your podcast.
Yeah, I've tried to squelch that a little, but we're good. No, we got.
You love a long voicemail. I know that.
Yeah. No, don't like the long voicemail.
Ryan loves a rant. If you're gonna call in, at least 3 minutes of talking.
I did get an email like it was like, I know you don't want long emails, and then there's like,
However,
it was and it was like 8 or 10 paragraphs, and I was like, put this on the message board. I'm not reading this on the podcast. And he sent me back like 6 paragraphs. Is this better? I'm like, that's better. It's still not good enough. So post it on the message board if you want to like talk forever.
Or send it to us, 2-star. We're the long form podcast of the Peristyle Network.
It is like 3-4 hours all the time, which is but thanks, Eddie, for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Eddie. Oh wow, a lot just came in. But someone asked me about Prophet Brown. Is he done for the year?
I think he is. I think they're going to do a medical redshirt kind of situation, which, I mean, it sucks for him. He was going to be a starter, but Lincoln did, talk about that early in the season. We haven't gotten a full update in like several weeks, so probably have to try to get that in the next coming weeks. But it does look like he hasn't practiced, hasn't suited up, hasn't done anything like that. So it just seems like they're going to attempt for the medical redshirt for Prophet Brown.
Yeah.
Last one I see, Cam Life. You remember when Riley first got here? He said he was going to play 7 to 8 receivers. What happened? We play 4 the whole game, and that's all. Also, third tight end never gets in.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't complain about tight ends. They're using the tight end, like 2 tight ends a lot. Like I think in 2 tight end sets. I think tight end you should be fine. Like I don't know why you want to play.
A third one?
Yeah, like I'm not sure why. I think there were situations last year where you had like 5 dudes and you weren't sure who was number 1. Now you know who your top dudes are. I would like to see more like other guys, but if guys aren't stepping up and they're not playing, like I think it's just more like they don't have a lot of depth there right now. Like we thought they would and they don't.
I mean, Prince, we just talked about Prince. We just talked about Zach. He's hurt. No one else has stepped up outside of Tanook. I mean, Corey Sims maybe, but he's been kind of a special teams guy. But yeah, last year there was a lot of rotation. I think that kind of behind the scenes kind of like irked some people. It's like, hey, we're rotating so much, no one can kind of get in the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like messing up the flow. And then this year they obviously went, we got our 2 superstars. We're going to ride with our two superstars. So I think over rotating can be an issue, and then obviously wearing some guys out could be an issue if you don't get them any rest. But I think this is the right move. You have your dudes, let your dudes play. Yeah, you'll get other guys in, but for the most part, no one really has stepped up outside of Tanook, and obviously those transfer guys have been. If they were healthy, again, I don't know what's going on with Prince. This is a weird situation. They'd probably get them a little bit more, but for right now, it's just 6. I'm blanking on 8 and 16.
Yeah, Jayden Richardson had a big play.
Oh yeah, Jayden. I shouldn't.
He had a big play in the Nebraska game on that. It was contested for the flea flicker, which kind of showed you like that you want a guy wide open, and he made a good play there.
Apologies. Got to give my praise to Jayden Richardson. He has played more than I ever thought he would, and props to him. He has made some key catches this season and has had his name called. Doesn't always work out, but he has had some moments this year, and that's good. That's cool to see.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I got in the comments. Anything else, guys?
No, that's great. We appreciate the calls and people live, and we got like 250 people in there. Not bad. I like it. Sometimes you can't tell how many people are live, so it's
2 more, and we get 247.
247, nice.
Thank you to our calls or super chat, all the questions and comments. Like always, what's ahead, Ryan?
We're going to I'll have Harvey Hyde on tomorrow morning, Monday morning, and Composite 2-star recruit will be Wednesday morning.
For Thursday, we'll drop Thursday morning.
Oh, Thursday morning. Helium Boys will be Tuesday.
Drop Tuesday morning.
And Connor and I will do a podcast Wednesday. Preview on Tunnel Vision Thursday evening with India and Connor, I think, will be in. And then we'll be back on Sunday recapping the game with Connor and Riley.
Yes.
So a lot of shows this week.
Do you have anyone coming for homecoming?
Is it homecoming this weekend? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything going on. Not that I know of, but I'm sure there's some people coming.
An alum and a future alum here. No spirit, guys. What's going on?
I've met with people in a couple games, but I didn't know about this one. We'll see. There might be maybe some people coming out of town. I don't know.
It's going to be a fun weekend. Got the game Saturday. I'm doing sideline for women's volleyball on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Against Nebraska.
Let's go.
Sold out.
Oh, that's
number 1 team in the country, right?
And then after that, back here in the studio.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, have good luck with that. Is that on Big Ten Network you're doing it, or?
Yeah, Big Ten Plus.
Nice.
Yes.
Well,
so
go crush it, Riley.
Thank you, and instant analysis after Wednesday's practice.
Yes.
So that's all for me. But Riley Sager, Ryan Abraham, Chris Trevino. This was Tunnel Vision, recapping USC's 38-17 win against Northwestern Friday in the Coliseum. We will see you next time.